Welcome, welcome to my ex dirty secrets.
The glass of whiskey trembled in my hand as I watched them from across the room. Her laughter, soft, familiar, intoxicating, cut through the ambient hum of the gala. But it wasn't the sound that froze me. It was the way his hand rested on her waist. Possessive, casual, like it belonged there. And she didn't flinch. Lena tilted her head toward him, smiling that smile I thought was mine alone, the one she wore when she wanted to be charming, when she wanted someone to feel seen. My pulse hammered as his thumb traced small circles on the silk of her gown, right where the fabric dipped over her hip. I knew that touch. I knew what it meant. I set my drink down, the glass clicking too hard against the marble table. People around me laughed, oblivious, their sequins glinting under chandeliers. My company's anniversary gala, an event meant to celebrate 10 years of success, had just turned into the scene of my personal undoing. The irony. None of them knew I owned the company. I built it from scratch under a parent firm's umbrella, letting my silent partnership keep my name out of the spotlight. Everyone here thought I was just Daniel Blake, a mid-level investor, an invited guest. Lena's boss, Richard Harlan, thought I was beneath him. And apparently my wife did too. Earlier that evening, Lena had kissed my cheek before leaving our penthouse. "You're not coming, right?" she'd asked, adjusting her pearl earrings in the mirror. "It's a company event. Strictly work." "I thought partners were invited," I said, pretending to scroll my phone. "They are," she replied quickly. "But it'll be boring, I promise." She'd smiled then, that perfect deflection smile she used when she wanted to steer a conversation away from danger. I didn't press. We'd been distant lately. She said she was stressed. I said I understood. But something had been gnawing at me for weeks. Late nights, hushed phone calls, perfume that lingered too long after team dinners. So, I showed up unannounced. Partly because I wanted to surprise her. Mostly because I wanted to know if the sinking feeling in my gut had a face. And now, standing in the golden light of the ballroom, I could see it did. "Excuse me," I said to the waiter beside me, my voice steady despite the storm inside. "Could you bring another bottle of the 2008 Merlot to that table?" He followed my gaze. "The CEO's table, sir?" "Yes," I said, lips curling. "Compliments of the owner." I didn't look away as the waiter walked over. Richard leaned toward Lena, whispering something. She laughed again, nervous maybe, and then her eyes flicked up. They met mine. Her smile faltered. Just for a second the mask slipped. I could almost hear her thoughts spinning. What is he doing here? Richard turned, following her gaze, and smirked. "You look like you've seen a ghost," he said loud enough for me to hear. Then, deliberately, he slid his hand further down her waist. That was when something inside me cracked. Not loud, not dramatic, just a quiet, devastating break. I walked toward them, weaving between glittering gowns and tailored suits, my reflection stretching across the polished floor. Every step felt heavy, deliberate. Lena's eyes widened as I stopped beside her. "Daniel," she stammered. What are you doing here?" Smiled. "I wanted to meet your boss." Richard leaned back, amused. "Well, that's me. Richard Harlan." He extended his hand with theatrical arrogance. "And you are." I shook his hand, gripping tighter than necessary. "Daniel Blake." He smirked. "Ah, the husband. Lena's mentioned you. You're in finance, right?" "Something like that." He chuckled, swirling his drink. "I was just telling Lena how lucky she is to have someone so understanding. Not many men would let their wives work this closely with me." The word "let" burned like acid. Lena shot him a warning glance, but he ignored it. "So tell me, Daniel," he went on, his tone dripping with mockery. "What do you do for the company? Advisory role? Investor? Or just moral support?" I looked at him calmly. "You could say I handle the bigger picture." "Oh," he laughed. "Care to elaborate?" I met his eyes, let the silence stretch just long enough for discomfort to bloom. "I own it. The laughter around us dimmed as his smirk faltered. "What?" he said, voice tightening. "The company," I repeated, letting the truth settle. "Every share, every contract, every paycheck you sign." A stunned hush rippled through the nearby tables. Lena's face drained of color. "I'm the silent partner your board loves so much," I continued softly. "The one who built this place while you were still polishing your resume." Richard's mouth opened, then closed. He stammered something about misunderstandings, about business formalities. But I wasn't looking at him anymore. I was looking at her. Lena's eyes shimmered, not with guilt yet, but with fear. The kind that comes when lies start to suffocate. We left the gala early. The car ride was a vacuum of silence. The city lights blurred against the tinted windows, streaks of gold and blue smearing into the night. My knuckles were white around the steering wheel. Finally she spoke. "Daniel, it wasn't what it looked like." I laughed softly, bitterly. "Then what was it, Lena?" "He's my boss," she said. "He flirts with everyone. It doesn't mean anything." I glanced at her, her fingers twisting her bracelet, a nervous tick I'd known for years. "You didn't stop him," I said quietly. She flinched. "I couldn't make a scene. He's powerful. You don't understand the politics in that office." "I understand perfectly," I interrupted. "You wanted to keep him happy. Keep your position safe. Keep the perks flowing." Tears welled in her eyes. "You think so little of me." I looked back at the road. "I think I don't know you anymore." She turned away, pressing her forehead to the glass. The silence after that was heavier than any argument could be. Later that night, after she went to bed, I sat alone in my study. The smell of scotch and betrayal filled the air. I replayed the night. His hand on her waist, her laugh, the way she froze when she saw me. I opened my laptop and pulled up her company emails. I'd never done that before. But suspicion makes morality flexible. It didn't take long. Buried deep in a folder labeled Work Follow-Up, I found a thread weeks long. Flirtatious jokes. After hours, thank you messages. Dinner photos. Hotel confirmations. Her replies started cautious, professional. Then softened. Then escalated. The last message stopped my breath entirely. "Last night was unexpected. You make me feel alive again. But we need to be careful. Daniel can never find out." The timestamp was from 2 nights ago. I stared at the screen until the words blurred. Then, quietly, I closed the laptop. The next morning, she came downstairs wearing my sweatshirt, eyes swollen from crying. "Can we talk?" she asked. "Sure," I said. She sat across from me, hands trembling. "I made a mistake," she whispered. "It wasn't supposed to happen. I felt invisible, Daniel. You've been distant, buried in work." He noticed me. Her voice cracked. "But it didn't mean anything. It was one night. I ended it. Please believe me. I wanted to. God, I wanted to. But all I could see was that ballroom, her smile, his hand." "You ended it because you got caught," I said. She broke down then, sobs shaking her shoulders. "Please don't leave me. I'll do anything. I love you." For a long time I said nothing. The clock ticked. The city stirred awake outside. Finally I stood and walked to the window. "You said I was distant," I murmured. "You were right. I built this company so we could have everything. But somewhere along the way, I lost sight of us." I turned to her. "The difference is I lost focus. You lost faith." Her breath hitched. "I'm not going to destroy you," I said. "You'll keep your job. But I'm filing for divorce." She stared at me, stunned. "You're serious?" I nodded. "Completely." Weeks later, Richard was gone. Fired quietly. No scandal, no noise. Just erased. Lena moved out soon after. Sometimes I catch myself wondering if I should have fought for us. If maybe her loneliness was my fault too. But then I remember that moment in the ballroom. The way she leaned into his touch like it was natural. That memory stays sharper than the pain. And every time I walk into my company, The place I built from nothing, I remind myself. Trust, like glass, only looks whole until it shatters. And when it does, no amount of love can make it seamless again.